Hello everyone, welcome back to SwitchUp and to the series All Patched Up, where we have a look at games that have had recent patches. It could be Switch 1 or 2, but also those now that have had free Switch 2 updates, going over everything that's changed so that, well, you don't have to, and you can decide whether it's worth picking up now. If you enjoy this type of video, which I know many of you do, I like making them, let me know down in the comments. Make sure you stick around. Now, which games have been all patched up? Well, my name's Mark Walker, welcome back to SwitchUp. Now let's find out. You're going to get a bit of a behind the scenes in today's sponsorship. If you've ever wondered how I make my videos, they are made right here on the FlexiSpot E7 standing desk. The reason I use the standing desk is, to be honest, I can be pretty darn lazy. And I end up sitting around all day. But with this one, I can push a button and gradually raise it up. The thing is, whether you're playing games or doing your work, it's brutal just sitting down all day, especially when that desk, the height isn't suitable for you. It has to match your height, doesn't it? Like your eye level has to be the middle of the screen. So yeah, the E7 makes a big difference for me there. As you can see, with one push of the button, you can go from sitting to standing. It's very quiet. It doesn't wobble around. Now, they did also send across the C7 Air chair. I've used one of their chairs for a while. This is a new one. Gave the old one to my mate. He was absolutely delighted. It's got a lower lumbar support, which you can optionally put on there as well. The chair has an adjustable headrest, full back support, including that lumbar support. It's got adjustable armrests as well, so you can decide exactly where you want your arms to sit, and you can recline with it as well. Yeah, they are quality. Go check them out. All the links will be down in the description and the top pinned comment. Okay, first up then, we've got a small patch, but quite a significant one for the game Cozy Caravan. You might remember me talking a little bit about this in, I can't remember if it was a sales video or what, but it's a fun game. It did have and we were trying to decide the name of this, like a desiccated animation effect. Basically, it's like stop motion style animation for the characters, and some people didn't like that. Now, there has just been a patch released for this one, and it looks like in the options now, you can actually control the way that that works. So you can see the animations as they were before, and then you can toggle and tweak things with this screen here, and then you get what you've got now. Now, they are still patching the game up and fixing it. They've found that with the big release and the amount of people that have bought this, that actually lots of bugs have come to the surface. So they have said they're working on those, but it is nice to see them bring it in line with the PC version by bringing that option across. So that's Cozy Caravan. Next up, we've got Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which, as we know, released, and it was created by, I think it was Forever Entertainment doing this actually, rather than Nintendo directly. And it was okay. Glen quite enjoyed himself and enjoyed his time with it. Perhaps not quite liking the visual stylings as much I guess as we thought we would. Now they've released a free Switch 2 update. This adds in Dixie Kong, which is one very cool thing. So not just Diddy Kong, you can now have Dixie. The Switch 2 version certainly performs better than it did when it was running on Switch 1, where you would have the occasional stutters. Performance overall seems to be much better. There's turbo attack mode that speeds the game up massively. And as well as the performance improvement, you've also got a big visual enhancement, mainly down to increased resolution. As well as that, it loads much faster than it did before. And this is a big one, they've added game share. And not only can you game share between Switch 2s, you can game share to Switch 1 from a Switch 2 as well. So yeah, really nice across the board for a completely free update. And I really do hope the floodgates are going to open now that we have finally got dev kits seemingly in a lot more hands. Next up then, one of my favourite games across all platforms is Rocket League. Originally titled something crazy. It had this massive title before it became Rocket League. It was like Super Turbo Flying Car. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, then we had Rocket League and everyone got on board and was like, yeah, this is amazing. We had the release on Switch 1. Honestly, the worst way of playing it, but it was nice that we had it. It still had decent performance, but visually it was a mess. Like, it didn't look great on Switch 1 at all. So they've done things a little differently here. You don't get a separate Switch 2 edition to download. It knows that it's on a Switch 2, and then you get these enhancements. So while you now get a locked 60 frames per second on Switch 2 versus a slightly iffy fluctuating frame rate on Switch 1, gone is the performance and quality setting from the Switch 1 edition. Now you've got a docked mode essentially that runs at 1080p locked at 60, which maybe you could have gone 4K realistically. This is not a taxing game, but it looks better, certainly. A lot sharper than it did before. And handheld mode as well. The dynamic resolution scaling no longer drops to obscenely low levels. It tends to sit at native for handheld, which is 1080p and 60 FPS. Other improvements include increased detail within the world, higher texture quality in handheld mode that now matches docked mode, improved lighting effects, ambient occlusion, and higher resolution shadow. So it just looks better. It's essentially a Switch 2 edition in everything but name. I think maybe they just wanted to keep a single download, which makes a lot of sense. And actually, I would be quite happy for more games to do that. Last but not least then, and this will actually go live for you probably by tomorrow morning, and it's related to Ball Cross Pitt, or Ball Times Pitt, or Ball X Pitt, whatever you want to say. The game sold 1 million copies. The developer, was it a solo dev or a couple of devs, have been working on loads of updates. There's 3 updates that are coming out, the first of which launches today, that being the Regal update, which adds the Carouser, whose returning balls will orbit around him, the Falconer, who has 2 trusted falcons that throw balls for her, and the Regal update also introduces 8 new balls as well as several passives. Aside from this, it does have one very cool thing that the devs didn't want spoiled. So yeah, download the game, have another bash at it, it's quality, and enjoy the free update, with the next one coming in April. So then we've got Hollow Knight, which had a patch in the Direct that just took place that brings it in line with Silksong in terms of Switch 2 performance. In the options menu, you've now got an option for 120Hz, which is good to see, but they also worked on the 3D lighting effects. So there is some difference to be seen between the two, but realistically, unless you're playing them side by side, the old and the new builds aren't going to be night and day different. It's just slightly better, higher resolution, higher frame rate if you're using that 120Hz. But any excuse for me to go back to the old save, and I'm quite happy to do it. So here is how the game used to look. This is based on our original review. Still looks pretty decent if you ask me, but then here is how the game looks now. Sometimes when you do that, you can really see the differences, whereas when I'm sat here just playing the new version, your brain tells you, yeah, that's the way it always looked. Regardless, I don't know if Team Cherry have added in any additional content for the Switch 2 release. I wouldn't put it past them, but I would say it's unlikely. You've just got a nice free update to bring it in line with the other version. I did notice that HD Rumble was excellent on the Switch 2 Pro controller, so yeah, that's something nice. But it's always nice to have another free update. So that's it for this episode. Let me know down in the comments, are there any other games that had cheeky little patches that maybe I didn't notice? As I always say, do let me know as well what you think of this one, what games you'd like to see get patches in the near future. And as always, just a big thank you to all of you that enjoy the content. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!